gents. It's very, very good to see you. As a sports reporter, I'm in no way qualified to assess or judge your movie, but...
Well, yeah, you are.
Not particularly, Jake, not particularly. But I did enjoy it. It was great fun, really great fun. Lots of nice kind of tips of the hat to the original as well. And the fight scenes, very authentic, extremely violent, which I'm very much into. Lucas, if I start with you, obviously Jake and Conor will get a lot of attention when it comes to the fight scenes, but in many ways I feel like Billy might have been the most natural fighter because all it took was one word from Dalton and you're taking out guys with knives.
Yeah, I think... Listen, Dalton was Billy's boy to man, arc. He was like my sensei in that movie. He really he taught me everything. Thanks. Thank you, Dalton.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Billy.
Thanks, Dad.
I feel like that's how Dalton would have liked the movie to go, if he could just sit at the bar with a coffee and tell other people to do it. Is that right? Sort of a reluctant hero in that sense?
I think he, obviously has his own demons from the past, so there's that. But there's also just what I love about him as a character is he's a stillness, and there's a power in stillness, because he's observing. And at least in what I learned from the professional athletes and mixed martial artists that we worked with, and I have even on other films I've worked with, is that they call it the arts for a reason, and there are similarities, obviously not explicit similarities, but like there are similarities between the arts that we do, performance and acting, and also martial arts. It takes observation, watching human behavior, waiting, being patient, having your right time, all of it's measuring, and so there's a lot of similarities there. Yeah.
What was it like dealing with Conor on set? Because in sports media, we're used to seeing Conor own every room he walks into. He's completed the fight game and he's lapped everybody multiple times. But here he is as a rookie. Did you get to see a shy, bashful Conor McGregor? Something we haven't seen in a couple of decades?
Didn't really get to see that, but did see when I first spoke to him on the phone, he said, listen, I'm a white belt in this game, in movie making and in acting, and I'm here to learn. And I think that approach is probably what got him to where he is, in his game. Particularly in the fight game, I think that kind of approach in terms of learning, taking in, being a sponge for information, being able to change and move is the same thing you need when you're walking into anything as a beginner. And, the interesting thing with us is I said the same thing to him, I'm a beginner, I'm a white belt in this, I'm here to learn. And even as we're grappling, in some of those, he's instructing me, whispering through his mouth, tell me, there's a scene at the end where I'm choking him out, and then he was like, yeah, that's right, yeah. And then I start choking him, he's like, yep, you got me. And then he's like, wrap the leg, and I'm wrapping, he's like, you really got me. So, he was always helping and very humble in the process.
Well, that was it. In the final confrontation between your two characters, you can clearly see that you've done work on mixed martial arts. You're taking the back, you're putting hooks in.
Yeah.
I think you even went for a triangle at one point. Can you talk us through the people you've been working with to get up to speed that much?
Mostly a lot of the work that we did was, we were working with a lot of pros and ex-pros. So, even I did for one of the scenes we shot in the UFC, I worked with Michael Chandler, which is a great irony.
How is that? Because now are you friends with Michael now? Because he's got to deal with your other friend, right?
Yes, I am. He's quite a gentleman, and it was very funny because I said, I'd love to have you be a part of whatever you want to be a part of, and he's like, how could I not be? He's like, you beat me up and my opponent. So, it's like it's great fun, and he was so great. But learning from those guys. But also, really interestingly, teaching them how to fake fight was a whole other skill, right?
Yeah.
When we're and there were moments where you have to remind Conor, you have to be like, remember, it's fake fighting. Oh yeah. But there are those, they taught me constantly. But our fight coordinator, our stunt coordinator, Garrett Warren, Steve Brown, spent so much time with us.
So much.
And we were also really trying to improvise a lot with the fighting.
Yeah.
We'd change stuff up on the day.
Yeah, keep it natural and loose.
Yeah.
You were so ripped. He was jacked.
I noticed.
You were jacked.
I noticed. Everyone noticed. I don't know how much you're aware of this, but we've been trying to get this fight between Conor and Michael Chandler. They've sort of been circling each other. Could Jake be the guy to finally get this fight over the line? Why
yeah,
not?
I was
To
going to say
win.
Jay could win.
Yeah. If they all fight, Jay could be the guy to come out on top.
Jay could be the one to take over.
In the fantasy world of Roadhouse, I do want that fight to happen. And I absolutely will be there if and when it does. And I think it is obviously a great matchup. I know they both want it, so it's just a matter of time. Hopefully that the two of them can get in the octagon and figure it out.
If either of them asked you to join them on the octagon walk, would you
on the
do
walk.
It?
That's not my. I'm there to. No, I'm okay.
Any other
we'll leave that to Zuckerberg. Yeah,
Fair enough. Are there any other fighters you've kind of gravitated towards as you spend more time looking at the sport?
Oh, I mean, this is the thing about that sport that I love. There are so many incredible fighters in it, and I think in that game in particular, there are great wins and great losses. One of the great, comebacks, the Izzy in that. We were there at that fight. Actually, we shot at that fight.
Right.
Was it that fight that we shot at? No. Sorry, we shot at the next fight. That was an incredible performance. Those are the types of things I love. Those stories. I'm a person. We're people who love to tell stories. So, to me, a championship spirit is someone who comes from out and then gets back in and sheer will and skill and.
You showed all of that, yeah.
All of that, and so I think to me those types of fights are the things I love because you watch people win and lose, and yes, people have great records, but a lot of that game is about watching that. It's a long journey and a long career.
Yeah. Lucas, I'll just end it with you. You saw Jake in prime shape as Dalton in Roadhouse. Is there any Hollywood actor who could take Dalton?
Every single one of them.
No.
Not Jake, Dalton.
Okay.
I'll say probably Dwayne The Rock might kick Dalton's ass, but other than that, I think Dalton really could take it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he killed it.
I think like T2, don't you think? Like he'd give him a run for his money.
He'd give him a run.
There's similarities between Conor and the character in Terminator 2. The one.
Yeah, there is.
There are.
Yeah.
Like he appears naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Conor said he watched that to get inspiration.
Well, there you go.
He said that in one of the interviews.
There you go.
Okay, gents, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for humouring
Thanks.
me along the way. Great fun with the film.
Yeah, no,
Thank you
thanks,
so
man.
much for this.